Hi, I'm Jason Carter, and I am sick and tired of these fantasy football leagues not allowing me to drop garbage-ass players.
And I'm Stephen McCollum, and I'm tired of family members of pro athletes spouting off on Twitter.
Main Event Podcast, it's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You have fun at the game?
Yeah, it was so exciting. They scored the winning hit right at the buzzer.
I think he wants to come inside Utley.
He doesn't always go down.
There's a very pure art to that stroke, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonder coffee.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Put your testicles in the C-gap.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast. Jason Carter with Steve McCullum. Thank you for listening. However you are listening, iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at The Main Event Pod. Also, hit us up on Twitter at The Main Event Pod as well. And you can follow me and Steven both on Twitter. I am at Jason Carter03 on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. Steve is at
SMAC500
on all three platforms as well. Well, Steve, two games, I guess, in Arizona are in the books. Both the same outcome, just different routes of getting there, I guess you can say. As I was at the Cardinals-Broncos game last night, and that was ugly.
Yeah, so I went to the ASU game, Stanford. So I'm driving to the game, and at like 5:30, you text and go, "Is it too late to come to the ASU game?" I was like, it's that bad already? And you're like, yep. Second
play from Josh Rosen after a 1 yard loss, I believe, run to David Johnson.
And then they call timeout?
They call a timeout because the crowd noise was unbearable, deafening in that place. The Cardinals thought ahead, though. They opened up the roof for the game because they knew the noise would stay trapped in if they didn't from the Denver Bronco fans.
Or it was a nice night out, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I probably both. A little bit both, I'll say.
It was very nice last night.
It was super nice. And then, so second play was a pick six. Then Emmanuel Sanders had a touchdown. He had more passing yards than Rosen did in the first half. Like, it was just, it was ugly. Ugly.
The problem that I have, and I was watching it on my iPad at the ASU game, and the Cardinals fired their offensive coordinator today, which isn't going to do anything, but everybody seems to think that all their problems are solved now. Whatever. But my issue with it is dude, they have no fight last night. They didn't show up. Ron Miller's running his mouth all week. They didn't show up to want to shut him down. And then when it got out of control, they even gave up even more. And that's the disappointing thing. And that comes down to coaching. This team has internal issues. This team has a lot of stuff going on that we just don't know about because they do not want to be on the football field. They do not want to play at all. It's ugly.
It is ugly. And even Wilkes, I mean, I look at this guy, I know, like, me being a Cowboy fan, I get a lot of crap for Jason Garrett because he's always clapping at everything.
But he has some excitement.
But at least he has some excitement. Coach Wilkes, he literally just, stands there,
So last night, something happened.
You ever see the meme?
No.
Of this is how my life is right now, where the guy's
fire.
in the fire. That's what Wilkes is, I feel like.
The fire's going all around him.
And he's just this is fine. This is good.
But that's the thing. So against the Vikings on Sunday, something happened on special teams. And the special team coach is at the end of the field, yelling at the referees and the team and just screaming. And Wilkes walks over and goes settle down. And then turns around and looks at the ref and he says something and then he just walks off. And it's when you're
Sorry, he's getting on to you there.
When your special teams coach is more enthusiastic about what's going on the field than you are as a head coach, I mean, it's just a joke at this point. We have the wrong staff in place. We had a top 5 defense the last 3 years on the Cardinals. This year, our defense can't even find their way on the field, let alone anything else. And we just have they hired the wrong head coach. They hired the wrong staff. They hired the wrong assistant coaches. And the team's screw it, because they've been coached the last 5 years. And in the NFL, folks, coaching matters. Not just the head coach, but the assistant coaches and everything matters. Yes, they're professionals, but they still need to be coached. They still need to be motivated. And I understand, all that stuff, but, it's just a joke. We have a completely wrong, it's going to be at the point where at the end of this season, you're going to have to clear everybody out, including the players, and start over because that's how bad they've ruined they had a decent to better than decent team going into this year.
Yeah, they
it's
made some
nothing
upgrades in the offseason. I mean, like, I think we were both, I think you went wild card with it, right?
Yeah, I mean...
And I think I was 8-8. Like,
but like going off of their talent, like they have talent. If they started trading players today, they would have people wanting to get a whole bunch of their players because they have the talent. It's the scheme that's wrong. They have the wrong people and the wrong schemes. The coaches don't want to make changes. Receivers can't get open to save their lives. Like, look at every ball Rosen completed last night, and the defender is on the receiver every time. Like, nobody is wide open at any point in time. Oh my God! Quit running the ball up the middle when it's obviously not working. You got the speediest back in the league, shifty guy in David Johnson, and you hand him the ball and he runs straight up the middle, and it's like, what? It just amazes me. They're all smarter than I am at football, and you just sit back and go, what is going on? But it's obvious it's not working, and so they made their first change today. It's not going to do anything because McCoy wasn't the problem necessarily. It's the whole philosophy, and that comes from the head coach. You can't tell me, Mike McCoy, that Steve Wilkes did not sign off on everything McCoy was doing. He has to be. But anyway.
Well, I did get to see Michael Irvin last night, so that was fun. I saw a guy
for the NFL Network?
Yes, the NFL Network was out there on the lawn.
I was saying, where were they set up at?
Yeah, they're on the lawn. Usually we're at where we tailgate. They're like, a little bit further, kind of in the middle or whatever.
Oh, really?
Just like by the sidewalk, and they had it like spanned out. It was weird, so we got there and everybody's like setting up, me and my buddy Jason went. He's a big Broncos guy. So we went and we're like, all right, well, let's go to B-Dubs. Just like, I'm not too sure the Thursday, tailgating crowd is going to be, especially with both these teams not, living up to any expectations at all. So
the tailgating never lets you down.
Yeah, but it was kind of abysmal crowd. There were a lot of people over by the stage, and then like kind of back around the end, but like in the middle, like it was like wide open back there. And then somebody made fun of Kurt Warner's pants. Not too sure what that was about. Like,
he had like skinny pants on.
Yeah, somebody's like, wear looser jeans. I was like,
yeah,
really, dude? We're gonna plant our flag on Kurt Warner's jeans?
Because he's really tall. Like, he's taller than you think. So no, I saw it on TV. Like when Fitz tackled him on the sideline, playfully. I was like, holy crap, man! Go up a size, dude. Go up a size.
Oh, so you're on the...
Yeah, no, I noticed it too. It was awkward.
Huh, that's weird.
It's just because he's
you guys
so
care
tall
about
and
his
everything. I don't care about his pants. I care the way it looks.
I thought it looked good.
But you wear skinny jeans.
I have one pair of skinny jeans.
Yeah, and you wore them the other night.
And I did wear them the basketball game. Yes, basketball season has started. We'll talk about that in May, right? Do we really care?
Basketball doesn't... Well, I mean... first week is always exciting because you want to see all the new changes and everything. Like, we went to the Mavericks Suns game on Wednesday night, opening night, so we got to see...
There are teams that still haven't played yet, and they start playing on Tuesday. Like, what is the NBA doing right now? Like, this is terrible.
They want to showcase everybody,
Terrible.
So, we got to see DeAndre Ayton, the number one pick. You got to see Luka Doncic. And then Bagley Jr., Bagley the third, I guess, who's from here. Got to see him play also. No Dirk, but... So we got to see, 3 of the top 5 draft picks play on Wednesday night in person for their first game.
Dennis Smith Jr., who was a top 5 last year as well. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at those two teams, I tell you what, man, those two teams, we could be seeing each other in the playoffs here in a few years.
I was going to say, 2022?
Yeah, you know what? Baby steps.
The Suns owner will ruin it and get rid of everybody, but Devin Booker's a stud, came off of wrist surgery, and came out of nowhere to score 33 points there in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah, my buddy called me yesterday. He's like, how'd the future look? I was like, future looked good. I mean, Luka was making some plays there in the first half. Got a little foul trouble there early on, but cleaned that up. And then I was like, man, he was looking good, passing the ball, assist, wasn't too good on the old rainbow 3-point shots there.
A few air balls.
He had that one air ball where everybody was just like, what the heck? Like, even the crowd's like, oh my God. And then you see Luka's face, because I think they called a timeout. And he's just like looking like, yeah, sorry.
The thing I noticed, and I'm not a basketball eye in any stretch, is I was telling you, I think the speed of the game kind of caught him by surprise at times. because on a couple of those threes, when he got the ball, he was wide open. And it's not that he took his time or anything, but I mean, the defenders in the NBA closed quick. And we were sitting, 10 rows up from the court? So we were maybe a little bit more, but...
The ticket lady kind of screwed me there. She put us in the family section for the Suns, which I thought was really weird.
I thought it was odd. We were sitting by all Josh Jackson's guests and family, and Aiden's family was around us and all that. It was pretty funny. So
I'm like,
Jason was wearing his Maverick stuff. That's why.
I'm like, yeah, all right, Luca, let's go. People were like looking at me like,
so yeah, but I mean, we were close to see it there, and I mean, he had a couple of shots where it was like, oh man, he's wide open, and then they closed on him, and those were the ones he airballed or whatever. So I think the speed kind of, I wouldn't say caught him by surprise, but I think, he's not used to that coming from Europe. Preseason's a different speed, right? So, LeBron played last night, and his first dunk in Lakers gear was a windmill dunk, spectacular windmill dunk for his first points as a Laker.
Did they win?
No, God, no, they got blown out by Portland. It was
really
close. Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously I didn't watch it because I had ASU Cardinals and I was watching the
I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh my God, it was just ugly. It's Lakers are going to be up. Everybody's like, Lakers are going to be a 7 seed. Yeah, good luck with that, folks.
They'll probably pull a 7 seed, 8 seed. Maybe.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's exciting basketball at the beginning, and then, after the first week or two, everybody will stop caring about it until Christmas, and that's when everybody gets back into it again. And then February, March is when people start caring again and all that. But it is exciting seeing all these young people, because they do have a lot of young... stud basketball players coming up now, whereas I think the last, several years, it was a bunch of people you never heard of. Maybe it's just because the Suns are drafting higher and higher.
Yeah, you're starting to realize it more and more.
So, but the interesting thing about basketball is more than the NBA, besides that Adidas trial thing that's going on where, all these college programs are being thrown under the bus here for payments to players, is the G League saying they'll offer one-and-done players a $125,000 1-year contract.
Dude, sign me up. I'm going to go to the park down the road and start shooting a mid-range, and we'll see what happens.
Here's the issue, right, is they'll make more if they go to Kansas or Arizona or something, or Duke, So,
yeah, definitely.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the G League is
How do you know about Rock Chalk Jayhawk?
Yeah, right. I know, that was hilarious, though. But, the... that was a Whataburger experience there that he was referring to.
Carl's Jr.
Oh, Carl's Jr., sorry. Isn't that the same thing?
No, Whataburger.
I'm thinking of Hardee's.
Yeah, Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
But, the G League isn't glamorous at all, man. It's bus rides. It's minor league baseball. But I guess if you need $125,000 for 5 months, it's the way to go instead of college. But if you want exposure, college is still the way to go. So it'll be interesting to see who forfeits college for a year or two.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Judging by this Adidas thing, there's a kid in Kansas that got paid $100,000 to go sign with Kansas, and he's so good that he's playing in Australia right now. So if a kid that isn't good enough to do anything like in the States or anything, has to go to Australia to play professional basketball, makes $100,000. How much is like an DeAndre Ayton? I mean, what was the rumor last year? His family got $700,000 or something.
Yeah, something stupid.
I mean, you're a top quality player. You're going to get paid by somebody. And the best part is he didn't even sign with Adidas. He went with
How'd
Puma.
you like his Pumas?
I actually liked them.
They were pretty bright. You're like, where's this guy at? Because you really, if you don't know what they look like, haven't seen pictures.
Well, the first time you're there,
yeah,
too. I mean,
you're like, which one is he? I was like, look at the bright-ass Pumas. That's that guy.
Because everybody out there is 7 foot. I mean, like, when you watch on TV, you can tell the difference in sizes, but when you're there, for some reason, they all look almost identical by height-wise.
They all look like they're like 9 feet tall.
I know.
Dude. Like, it's like insane. Like, I've stood next to a guy who's 7 foot. Like pretty tall, but like you see it, like, and you're like by the court, you're like, oh my God, this guy's like a monster, just insane.
Did you see that guy, Bob, whatever? For what team did he play for? Where he dunked and didn't even have to jump?
Yeah,
and tore the rim down. They had to readjust the rim.
That dude's a big old boy too. Like, he is like, where'd that guy come from?
I have no idea. Like, I never saw him, and then all of a sudden they show that highlight where he dunks on everybody. Like, literally got the facial just standing there.
He did like some tiptoe action. I think. He's like, should I hang? He should be in the dunk contest. Like, I just want to see him, like, dribble the ball up to the rim.
I bet you a lot of money he can't jump. I bet you.
Oh,
I bet you he can only
break
go.
a leg.
Yeah, he can only go a few inches off the ground because he's so big. But he doesn't need a jump for 10-foot rims if he can reach up and dunk it. So, but yeah, so basketball started. You know, nothing to get excited about. It just plays here or there, and you know, Celtics looking good off the beginning of the season. But you know, the East is going to be a mess. The West is going to be Warriors and whoever can hang with them. So it's not too exciting. I guess the exciting thing is going to be the lower levels of the playoffs and who can hang and who gels the fastest, because all these teams have new players. Even San Antonio's got all new players. You know, they're usually consistent. They're going to probably struggle a little bit getting started.
Did you see the rings that they got?
Yes.
Did you? How do you feel about it?
I thought they were ugly. Like, which part are you talking about? You're
Like,
talking about
just the overall ring, you know,
Yeah.
you can interchange it.
Yeah,
goes
that's what I
blue
was
to-
gonna say, change it over and everything. That's what I mean by it's ugly. Like, I don't understand the concept of it. My favorite part about that is, I mean, my philosophy on championship rings is they need to be special because it's hard to win. You don't do it very often, you know, and so they need to be special. They need to be unique to where you'll never, you never see it again or whatever. My favorite thing about that is the NBA is just a cruel league, man, because, you know, they stick, Oklahoma City Thunder with Kevin Durant and Westbrook, who's out with knee surgery. But so the Thunder, who Durant used to play with, has to stand there while Durant gets fitted for his ring on the court. Like,
everybody was talking like Durant won the breakup.
well, I was calling coward, but you know, it's like, God dang, the NBA's cruel, man. But speaking of Kevin Durant, my rant at the beginning is what's with all these family members going to Twitter and then expecting nobody to, like, and then they get mad when the media runs with it and everybody gets comments. Like, Kevin Durant's brother was like, you know, 5 more months or 6 more months until we can get out of here. You know, he made this veiled comment about how he wants to, because it's his final year in the contract, so he can get out of, Oakland, and all that stuff. And then OBJ's dad is spouting off because the owner of the Giants said he wished that OBJ, Beckham Jr. would speak more on the field and do more of his actions and not speak less off the field, you know. And then Larry Fitzgerald, his dad, last week went onto Twitter and ran his mouth about how his son's not being utilized properly and, you know, hasn't gone 6 games without a touchdown pass in 15 years or whatever.
Well, he got one last night.
Yeah, so
tied with Tony Gonzalez, 7th all time.
And the best part,
receptions.
The most annoying part of it is that they do it, and then when they get called out and everything, they're like, "Oh well, you know, I didn't mean it like that," and you know, I'm not speaking for anybody else. It's like, yes, you are. You are completely speaking. And like today,
like I'm sure Larry's been like, "Man, they're not using me right." Right? And
yeah.
I don't think Larry's not one of those guys coming with media, but talking to his family, he's probably been something like that. Like,
that's my point. Like, and you know, Kevin Durant and his brother, because him and his brother lived together, I think, until last year. You know they have conversations and stuff. But I guess that's more of my point: is don't take it to Twitter, people. Like, what are you frustrated about? You know, your brother not being or your son not being. Like, I get it, but then like OBJ today comes out and says, you know, he values Mara's opinion for less talk. So the dad's basically ripping the billionaire owner who gave his son a $90 million guaranteed contract for, you know, everything. And then, you know, the player then is in this awkward position where he's got to be like, look, I respect the owner's opinion and blah, blah, blah. It's getting ridiculous. Like, family members, wives, you know. This goes for you too, Giselle, Tom Brady's wife, you know, and everything. Just stop running your mouth in public. Gabrielle Union, who always talks about Dwayne Wade all the time on Twitter. Just stop it.
Steph Curry's wife.
Just stop
back in the finals a few years ago.
Yeah, like, nobody cares. Stop running your mouth. You're spewing your mouth to the players. Like, you can have an opinion and stuff, but you got to be careful how you phrase it because it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect you. It affects your husband, your dad, your son, whatever you are to them. It's just, I'm just tired of reading articles all the time about it. I'm done.
Well, I'm tired of this undroppable list that fantasy deals like ESPN and Yahoo come out with. More so ESPN. So obviously, the undroppable players list, it's fantasy players who can't be sent to waivers or free agency. Without this feature, pretty much, if a guy's out of contention, they'll drop a player, their buddy will pick him up, whatever. Which I understand, I get the point. But it's supposed to be these top value guys. And I thought, I was getting something when I drafted Dalvin Cook in round 2 in my draft this year. And I was like, Dalvin Cook, gonna be solid. It's been, kind of banged up with a hamstring injury all season long. He played, I believe, what was Monday Night Football game he played? Mm-hmm. He was on a snap count, which I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Because nobody said anything.
They didn't tell you until after the game.
Yeah, until the game started. It's like, man, I haven't seen Dalvin Cook. Oh, yeah, he's on a snap count tonight.
Yes.
And ever since that game, he has been out. And he's been practicing all week just for Friday for them to say he's out with his hamstring injury. So today, I was finally able to trade Dalvin Cook for Jordan Howard, and I took it because I wanted to drop Dalvin Cook. Like, I know he's owned by 98.1% of fantasy owners in fantasy, but the dude is just hot garbage. So Dalvin Cook, bid you adieu. Farewell.
So your complaint is that in a fantasy draft that nothing matters on, that you couldn't drop Dalvin Cook outright because they didn't want somebody else to pick him up.
I just wanted to drop him because he's garbage. I was so angry.
I know. But
when the news broke today, I was like, I hate you, Dalvin Cook. I'm dropping you. I was like, I can't drop him.
You have a rough life, Jason.
But I was able to get something
That's
for him,
the worst thing that you deal with.
Well, that's Friday. Today's been a little rough, Steve, in case you haven't tell.
That's not my problem, Jason. You're 31 years old. You think you can handle it?
It's been a rough morning. Mm-hmm, Tito's vodka goes down so smooth.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Santan Ford people. Thank you for letting me come.
It's not a good morning when I'm out working and doing stuff that you were supposed to go do.
I thought you were going to wake me up.
And then I have to text to see if you're up at 10:30 because I'm just assuming you're still passed out.
No, I was up. I was up.
At 6 a.m. when I left?
I was up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Well, you had a good time, I guess.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
And a 45-10 blowout.
Yeah, you got to make the best of situations.
So, ASU game was kind of a dud also. I mean, it was all field goals until the second half. But then ASU has the same problem that the Cardinals have. Their offense, they drive the field and everything, and then they get to the red zone and they can't put it in the end zone. And it's just infuriating watching it go. They pass down the whole field, right? And then they get in the red zone and they do 3 running plays and they kick a field goal.
Right.
It's but passing the ball's been working. Oh, God. It's just going to be a long next 3 or 4 months for sports in Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox are in the World Series.
Yeah.
Did Joe West get the MVP award yesterday?
Please tell me he's not going to be umpiring in the World Series.
He shouldn't be. I think you only get 1 playoff series, right?
I don't know how they do it anymore.
That used to be how it was. You get 1 playoff series.
He shouldn't even get 1 playoff series. The guy is... Every controversial call he's involved in it. And forget about if he's right or wrong. But if you're an umpire and your job is to be diplomatic and go through the rules properly and everything, and you're involved in every controversial play, regardless if you're right or wrong, you need to sit down and not be in these high profile moments because you're doing something. Name another umpire that was in that crew. You can't name another umpire on that crew unless you're just a baseball nerd and study that. But you can't name another umpire on that crew. So whether his calls were right, which most of the time they're not right, but whether his calls are right or his calls are wrong, you're involved in that many controversial plays in a 5-game series? It was 6 games.
It was a 7-game series, but it only went 5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So 5 games. In every game, he was involved in some controversial BS play or complaint. And that was just this round. Yankees, Red Sox last round, he was involved in it too. And everybody was complaining about him there too for balls and strikes and everything.
That was Angel Hernandez.
Oh, I'm backwards. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, they're the same person.
Pretty much. Those are the only two umpires you know, right?
And then
off the top of your head.
CB Buckner, who's also bad, but I mean, you know, so regardless if he's right or wrong, like, you should have a percentage, and if you're involved in more than 50% of the controversial plays that happen on the field, like, you shouldn't be allowed to do any more high profile.
You shouldn't know an umpire's name. That's always been my thing. You shouldn't know the name.
And furthermore, Major League Baseball, how do you not have a video on the home run lines yet, right? Like,
that security guard was on the way. Did you see the video? They tried to show the sighting on that security guard was like over the play.
So it was obvious to me the guy's glove was in the crowd.
So the play in question, Jose Altuve, bottom of the first inning, and what was it, Wednesday night's game?
Yeah, down 2-0. They were down 2-0.
They're down 2-0. He was hitting it was what, 2-run home run?
Yep.
It looked like. Was going out. Mookie Betts jumped up to catch the ball. The radio voice, I don't know how Joe Buck called it, but the radio call was they thought Mookie Betts knocked the ball back in play. Joe West immediately said that Altuve was out on that play.
Yep, because he was the right
because
umpire.
of fan interference. So they went back and reviewed it, and they determined that it was fan interference and that he was out. I think it was one of those where if you call it a home run, it stays a home run.
Because they didn't have a definitive video view. But here's my point.
Or if you just call it a double, it stays a double. Like, I don't know.
So if he goes to catch the ball and gets it, but then it falls down in play again, but it was out, but he brings it back in, but he doesn't catch it and it hits down, is that a home run or is that in play?
That's in play, I believe.
So
it all depends. There's different ground rules for everything.
Every stadium has different ground rules. And Houston has weird rules because of the way their outfield is.
Yeah.
But here's my thing, right? So they have close-up video of Betts going into the crowd, 5 feet above the railing, glove extended, fans there. Fans should be able to play that ball regardless if it hits him or not. Because the ball is in the crowd. Like, it's one thing if he's standing underneath the wall and a fan's reaching out, and goes, but he is 5 feet above the wall trying to make a catch. Like, that's a fan's ball at that point. It's not in the field of play. The player's going out of the thing, right? So forget about that argument. That's what I argue is that ball was not in the field of play because he had to go above the wall to get it. Fans should be allowed to grab it. Second of all, they have the definitive thing there where, there's no definitive on if his glove was in the crowd or not. It looks like it was. Doesn't look like the fans were reaching out at all. Anything like that. So that's fine. But my point is you have a camera angle from home plate, right, that sees it, and it has a close view of it. You have an angle from the side that can see it. It's all just a garbled mess because, like you said, security guards in the way and everything. And you still can't really tell, right? But Joe freaking West can make that call with his fat ass about halfway out from first baseline, out about halfway out, and makes that call. No questions, definitive right off the bat.
You ever see Joe West run?
No, but I did see him get smacked with a ball in the shoulder. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
But that's all my point is we have all these like HD cameras with close-up views, and it's not definitive. But Joe West, he didn't hesitate, folks. Like, that ball went out. He was like instantly out, like that. And it's like, how can you possibly see that from where you are? And then you go to the replay and you can't see it, and we got pictures like we're sitting right there. It drives me nuts how, and it's just ridiculous how emphatic he was on it, especially with replay rules, If you don't know, then maybe go huddle with the other umpires, but he's not going to.
Let it play out. Yeah. Let it play out, see what's up, and then that's when you do it.
But I don't know, it's just infuriating. Like, whether the call's right or not, that isn't my point. It's just every controversial play he is involved in. It's just awful, So anyway, Red Sox are in there, and then we got Dodgers, Milwaukee tonight. Dodgers can close it out.
Possibly tomorrow night. Come on, Brew Crew. Need some big ones. Wade Miley pitching today. The first time a starter in a very long time. I assume this probably happened back in the day, but modern era baseball. First time a starter has started back-to-back playoff games. as Wade Miley started game 5 through 5 pitches, walked a guy, and then immediately got yanked. Short leash for him, but that was game plan all along because they wanted to take away the advantage that the Dodgers have against left-handed pitchers. And then they threw their righty in there, which was supposed to be a weaker lineup, but didn't really work out. They lost, 5-1, I think?
Yeah, but they lost late innings, though. It had nothing to do with that. I mean, they were in the game. But, I mean, they're going up against Kershaw, and Kershaw actually pitched well in the playoffs. So, it's no fault losing there. So, yeah, Brewers have to win tonight. I know we're both rooting for the Brewers to pull this out, but, God, I know, Boston Red Sox, Dodgers World Series is, my nightmare.
That doesn't excite me at all,
I can't stand either team. So, yeah, there's no, and I'll watch it during the week because there's, if there's a game
I'll watch it, but
if there's a game on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, I'll watch it because there's nothing else on. But Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be watching football or something instead. I'm not going to be oh my God, football. Last night's game, only reason I turned to it was at the ASU game was because the Cardinals game was a blowout, and the game hadn't started yet. So I was I'll see how the ALCS is going.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Houston.
I'm glad Houston lost. I don't like Houston.
Yeah, I know. Texas fans, I know. But I mean, everybody's saying, to blow up Houston now. They're falling apart, and all that. Everybody's jumping off the Houston banner. Last year this is the greatest way. That's how you need to build a team. And now all these national people this year are
people are
break them up. They're no good. You can't build a team this way. Literally all morning today, that's all I heard on national radio was, Houston needs to be broken up because it's not how you set up a team. And I'm just wow, you guys jumped off the bandwagon quick. They lost to the team with the best record in Major League Baseball this year.
Yeah, they did. And I don't know, it's just weird how the narrative always changes week to week in sports now.
Well, it's because of talk radio. You have to keep people excited and,
I think Houston will be okay. No need to blow it up. They'll probably meet the Cubs next year in the World Series or something like that.
I think Cubs are done.
And they had a few good years.
Speaking of hot takes.
Cubs are done.
Cubs are done.
I don't care who you sign. Speaking of signing players, Manny Machado is going to get paid this offseason.
He is, but man, I didn't know.
He is such a douchebag.
I didn't realize what a punk he was, right? He's always doing stuff. Speaking of Joe West, he's always in the middle of something, right?
You remember when he was with the Orioles and he threw that bat at the guy, it's just blatantly he threw the bat at the guy on third, and then, there was that, and of course on, was it Tuesday night's game? Was it Tuesday night? Tuesday night. He drug his foot and over the first baseman's ankle, clearly just it wasn't one of those things oh yeah, sorry, I actually kicked you right there. He clearly drug his foot into the guy who was on first. I was just what the hell is this guy's problem, And then he gets called out on. I thought the bench was running clear. I mean, they were going back and forth.
I know.
They were speaking in Spanish. I had no idea what was getting said.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part of that is after the game, the reporter asked him about it, and he's I was just running hard at first. I didn't think it was a dirty play, but maybe it was. I don't know. He totally calls himself out.
He's I got a lot of respect for those guys over there. And then he got fined. Only a fine, no suspension or anything like that. So
you're not going to suspend him for that. But yeah, he's not staying in Dodgers. I think the consensus is now they want to keep him, but I think the consensus is he wants to go back east. And then the Diamondbacks are talking about a fire sale right now. They're, fan favorite Paul Goldschmidt getting traded and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be, offseason going to be interesting for baseball because the Yankees have a crap ton of cap space, I guess it is called in baseball.
No, they just got money. They just got money.
Yeah,
because their players right now are all young.
Yep.
They did their rebuild, which took half a season 2 years ago, and here they are now with a lot of money. So it is going to be a bidding war.
Yep.
A lot of people still think the Cubs have all this money too. So I don't know how much.
Well, I mean, Ricketts family.
I mean, they just signed Yu Darvish. So I mean, are they going to be that team now? To go out and buy and purchase?
It'll be interesting to see what the Cubs do because Bryce Harper's got a decision to make. And then once Bryce Harper's going to be the domino, right? So nobody will sign until Bryce Harper signs.
Harper or Machado, I think. I don't know. One of them is going to. I think Harper's getting paid more.
I think Harper's
He's
the guy.
He's the $400 million guy everybody's been touting for the last 3 years.
I think he's going to get less than that unless a bidding war just happens. But I think once he goes, then you'll see all those other guys. But I mean, Machado definitely wants to go back east, so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up and everything. But then you got the Dodgers. You can't put them out. They have money to spend and
Magic Johnson and crew.
He's just a whatever owner. He's not the main guy. I don't know how much money he's got in it, but he's not cutting the checks.
No, definitely not.
So
we got college football coming up this week. One game is down from yesterday. There's probably more games. I don't even know. Were there any more games this week already?
I don't even know. Yeah, you're lucky I made it last night to that ASU Stanford game, man. Jeez.
So we got a couple of big matchups this week here. In terms of top 25, Michigan State going to get things started off tomorrow morning. Michigan number 6, surprisingly number 6, and then Michigan State still inside the top 25 at 24. The game will be in Old East Lansing, Michigan, the home of the Spartans.
I'm actually excited for this game. I can't wait to see it. I have seen Michigan State here earlier in the year, and they've struggled a little bit this year, but so has Michigan. But Michigan's been coming on strong these last few months. I'm going with Spartans here.
You know what? I got to go with Wolverines here. I think, it's not a top 10 team, so Harbaugh should be able to get a win against a Big Ten opponent. So I like the Wolverines right there. They are 7-point favorites as well on the road. You got North Carolina State, 5-0, man, taking on number 3 Clemson.
Well,
Clemson's 17.5-point favorites.
Yeah, they're not going to be 5-0 after this weekend. Clemson in a blowout.
And see, they keep it close. I feel like. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think they keep it close, but I do give the slight edge to Clemson on that one. Mississippi State and LSU playing tomorrow night as well in Baton Rouge.
There's something about Saturday night SEC football that is just awesome to watch. I don't know what it is.
Especially in Death Valley. That place gets hyped. The helmets that they are wearing are legit purple helmets that turn gold when the light reflects off of them. Those things are badass. It's gonna be a fun time in Baton Rouge tomorrow night. LSU though, only favored by 6.5 points.
I was surprised by that, but I don't know why. I know people aren't high on Coach O, including me. But,
trucks go by outside.
What's Mississippi State's record? They're not that great, are they?
They're 4-2, ranked 22
really?
in the land, yeah. So,
LSU's going to win. The LSU's been surprising everybody all year and winning games, so LSU's going to win.
Been surprising me. Coach O, man, been doing his thing. Called it before the season started. You heard me.
Yes,
I just didn't realize that Mississippi State was worthy enough to get the alternate uniform. Right, because don't you usually bust out the alternate uniforms like a big game matchup?
Yeah, but Saturday night SEC football is a special deal. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that is true.
It's only 2 or 3 games a year that do that. Otherwise, they're all day games, middle of the day type deal. So no, these night SEC games are huge deals in that country. So and CBS hypes the heck out of it too. So. Another
top 25 matchup: 25 Washington State hosting number 12 Oregon in a Pac-12
game days there.
Really, game days Washington State. Nice
in Pullman, Washington. Yes, sir.
The flag didn't have to go far this week, right?
The flag stayed home.
The flag stayed home. I went to when game day was out here in Tucson a few years ago for I think it was UCLA versus U of A.
Yeah, U of A. Yeah.
And the flag actually got lost on the way, and they had to they was able to they located the flag.
When they FedExed it?
Yeah, something happened. The flag got lost or stolen. I don't even know what happened, but the flag was missing. Oh my God, this is going to be the first time. This is the big ESPN news. Breaking news. Washington State flag might not make it to game day for the first time, in 350 game days. What the heck? But it made it, and they actually did a full feature on the flag itself, making it to the stadium. And the people that hold that, so it's up on this huge 20-foot flagpole, right? And they actually have crew of 5 people that just hold that flag. That's their thing.
So this was 4 or 5 years ago. I read a story on it, and it's it gets FedExed between alumni groups. So that's how it goes. So it gets FedExed to the next game day location to the alumni group that's there and everything. It's pretty. It's a big elaborate network that they have to get that flag out and everything.
But it is at every college game day. It's amazing. I don't know.
It's got its own lore at this point.
But yeah, so they don't have to go far for that one. Other matchups.
Well, who you got on that game?
Washington State. We've been talking about the flag. I think the flag lays the smackdown on him. And my boy, Mike Leach. It's my boy.
Oregon's going to win the Pac-12 North this year, surprisingly, and they're going to win this game, too.
Give me Washington State. They are 3-point faves at home.
At home, yeah.
Other big game tomorrow, I do have to mention it, is the third Saturday of October, which means Tennessee will be hosting number 1 Alabama. Is Tua playing? They said?
I don't know. No, college, they don't have to announce it.
I know there was talks that you might want to bench Tua against some of these lesser teams.
Yeah. Let me put it this way, Jason. Does it matter if Tua's playing or not?
Probably not. But I'll tell you this right now. Tennessee has momentum on their side. They beat Auburn last week.
Is he going to do it?
A 21st ranked Auburn team last week.
Is he going to do it?
They got another team from Alabama rolling in. Third Saturday of October. The crowd's going to be hyped because they're coming off this big win, momentum shifter. Right now they're sitting at 500. Come Sunday morning, the Tennessee Volunteers are going to be 4-3 and in playoff conversations after taking down Bama.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Let's go get you drug tested, first of all, immediately. So, Tennessee, it was so shocking that Tennessee won last week against Auburn that the news out of last week was that Gus Malzahn, that's who the Auburn coach is? Or am I confusing him? But anyway, Auburn's coach is on the hot seat and might be fired because everybody was so mad they lost to Tennessee and it was unbelievable. Come on, Alabama's winning this game. Like, I appreciate the homerism, but let's get real here.
Go Vols. Let's do it. 1-1 for the Gipper.
The Gipper.
The Gipper.
Marty and McGee have an Idiot's Guide to Alabama, Tennessee podcast up right now on ESPN.
So I need to check it out.
You have to watch that.
And look, the Tennessee fan is wearing a trash bag over his head. Well, I'll have to go check that out.
That's hilarious. Here's an interesting twist in college football. So, the Heisman hopeful Arizona quarterback, that I did the quotation marks there because he was way overhyped in the season. Khalil Tate's out this weekend because he's had a bum ankle all year. Rich Rod's son is getting the start at quarterback.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is Rich Rodriguez even allowed, on campus?
I know, right?
Can he watch his son play? Or,
how awkward is that? I came here to play for my dad, and his dad gets fired for banging mistresses or something, and then allowing him on the sideline or whatever, and then and then now it sounds like, okay, I'll be the backup to Khalil Tate.
Hey,
yeah, you got your number, go.
That kid has loyalty, though. I tell you that. Most people would be like, screw it, I'm out. That kid's like, nah, I'm here. Go Wildcats.
Yeah, because he's not going to play unless Tate gets hurt, because this is his second year, so, he's not leaving early for the NFL draft now. After last year he had a breakout year, but he ain't leaving early this year, so he's behind him. I just think stuff like that just cracks me up, just the awkward conversations that are going to occur, right, on campus or whatever.
Does his dad even, wear U of A gear to the game? How do you do that? I don't know.
He just sits in how does he, sit in the stands? Could you imagine he has a ticket, and, you're sitting there, and you're like, is that Rich Rod?
He's sitting by the other team's fans, and he had to scalp one outside from the other side. It's in their fan section.
Stuff like that just makes me giggle a little bit on that. So
that's good stuff. That's funny. No, I like that. Sunday morning though, we do have football, 6:30 a.m. The NFL Network crew is actually going to be doing game day live from London, from Wembley Stadium, where the Titans take on the Chargers. Titans 3-3, Chargers 4-2. This is going to be classified as a home game for the Chargers, and the Chargers are 6.5-point favorites.
Chargers are on fire. They made it through their beginning of the season doldrums they always go through, and now they're just going to rip through everything, and they are going to challenge Kansas City in that division to win that division here coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be good whenever those two teams meet. I like the Chargers as well in there. The play call for Tennessee has been awful as of late.
How do you think the 6:30 a.m. kickoff is going to affect the Chargers? Because they're a West Coast team. That's a joke. Yeah. That's a joke, folks, because it's not 6:30 a.m. in London.
Well,
I'll stop you before you start.
When do they get there? They're there
right
now,
all week.
Right?
Yeah, they're all week. They fly over.
Get acclimated to it.
Yeah, the time. It's for us, it's like a 10-hour time change. So, it's at 6:30 a.m. is going to be 8 p.m. their time, 7:30 their time. So yeah, I stopped.
Well, I know. I got the joke, Stephen. There might be some player who can't get on the time change schedule. I remember when I went to Okinawa, it was just like, oh, this is...
The London games are usually not good because of the time change. The grass is different. Soccer grass, especially in England, the soccer grass is longer. That's why the players can slide on their knees after they score and stuff. Like, you can't do that on normal grass without ripping your knees up.
Right.
So the grass is way different. The temperature, all that stuff is completely different. And Wembley Stadium, I believe, is an open stadium. So
yeah, they just did that WWE event there.
Yeah, Chargers. Right? If the weather's bad, Chargers might struggle a little bit there because Southern California team. But
the weather is, they don't even have the AccuWeather for Wembley. God, ESPN, pick it up. But you can get tickets for $15 on StubHub.
So I think, but I'd expect the Chargers to win that back there, even though and it's because Mariota's banged up and it's a whole mess.
Yeah, their play calling is just terrible. Patriots at Bears, man. The Bears come off a loss last week, shockingly. They sit 3-2 right now, 2-0 at home. Patriots 0-2 on the road. Patriots 3-point favorites in Chicago.
Yeah, this is like the game of the week in the morning, and your heart says Patriots, right? But I'm gonna go Bears. I think the Bears are gonna shock them.
Bear down, baby. Two for two. I got you right there. Khalil Mack is going to get on Tom Brady's ass. Brady is going to get flustered. He's going to cry. He's going to pout. He's going to yell at people. Bears going to win this game by a field goal. Bills at Colts. That sounds super not exciting, right? Bills are 2-4. Check this out. First time this has happened. Bills are 2-4. Colts are 1-5 at home. Colts are getting a 7.5. They're 7.5 point favorites. First time a team with a lesser record has been favored by more than a touchdown over a team. Like that. This is just how bad this game's going to be, right?
Well, it's even worse because Peterman's out, and they just signed Brian Anderson off of his couch to come in and play, and he's starting for the Bills this week. Like, he literally has been there for a week, and he's going into play. So, if you're the Colts and you can't win this game, just sit out the rest of the season.
Sit out the rest of the season.
Stop playing.
So, Colt? Nah, you know what? You taking Colts?
I'm taking the Colts.
You know what? Brian Anderson, the guy's gonna be a feel-good story this week. The guy was sitting on his couch watching Sports Center.
Been sitting on his couch. It doesn't mean he's not in shape, but the speed is what he's going to miss out on.
Brian Anderson's going to come out there and he's going to get it done this week for the Bills.
My favorite part is when the Bills were signing him and talking to him, it was like, we need a veteran in here behind, Josh Allen and everything. So then Allen gets hurt, and then Peterman gets hurt. And then it's like, and they even told Anderson, they're like, you'll only play if you need it. Like, just come and help out.
You're not even going to get dressed for a game.
Yeah. And then it's like his first week there. They're like, you're starting this weekend, bud.
Brian Anderson's going to be the feel-good moment story this week. I like it.
If you can't win this game, Colts, because the Colts are bad, and if you can't win this game, like I said, just stop playing.
Lions at Dolphins. Lions 2-3. One of those wins was against Patriots. Dolphins 4-2. Lions still looking for that first road win. Dolphins have yet to be beaten at home, where they are 3-0. Detroit, though, 3-point favorites.
I know, because Tannehill's out
because
again.
Tannehill's out, but Brock Osweiler last week looked amazing.
Seriously.
I like the Lions here, though, because Osweiler can't do it 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, dude, Dolphins are winning this game, and it's not going to be close. It's going to be a 14-point game.
So you got Dolphins?
Yeah. Osweiler's not a bad quarterback. I know y'all shit on him and stuff.
I don't poo-poo on him all the time. I'm just saying I don't think he can do it back-to-back weeks. Vikings at Jets. The Vikings need a win in a big way here. I mean, they did beat up on the Cardinals last week, which was a pretty competitive game until about the third quarter or so. Jets at home. Minnesota 3.5-point favorites, and East Rutherford, New Jersey. Weather's going to be 49 degrees, so it's a perfect crisp day for football over there at MetLife. Who you got?
I have not the Jets.
The Vikings.
Yes.
Jets.
Yeah, no,
Jets.
Vikings beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they lose to the teams they're not supposed to beat. Wait, did I say it right? The Vikings lose to the teams that are equal to them, and they beat the teams they're supposed to. They beat the worst teams. And The Jets are a worst team. There we go. Holy cow, it's like I'm drunk.
I was trying to figure out your thought process on that one, too.
The Vikings don't lose to bad teams. They'll lose to the good teams, but they won't lose to the bad teams. There we go.
Jets aren't a bad team. Give me the Jets.
Jets are bad.
Give me the Jets. Panthers at Eagles. Eagles 4.5-point favorites. They're at Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles, man, when are they going to turn the corner and right the ship? Will it be this weekend, Steve?
No, it will not, Jason. Greg Olson's coming back, and Panthers are going to go in there and stomp on the Eagles.
Ooh, I like it. Give me the Eagles on this one. I think they win. It'd be a close game, though, but I think Greg Olson, is he on snap count this week?
I have no idea. They haven't said yet, but I just saw that he was coming back. But Eagles aren't clicking yet, and one day they're going to wake up, but until then, I suspect it'll be November. But, they have a lot of continuity issues right now, working back in the quarterback and all that stuff, so.
Browns at Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, 3.5-point favorites, 85 degrees it's going to be in Tampa.
So, and the Browns, literally in the last 30 minutes, just traded running back Hyde to the Jaguars for a 5th rounder.
All right. So Chubb's going to be rocking?
Apparently Chubbs is the starting running back at this point.
Let me hit the waiver wire.
Why do you think I wasn't paying attention when you were talking about the Vikings?
I've been wondering. You're over here on your fantasy here.
I'm in a different league, though. The other league is what I'm looking at, so that's the one I need running back help. The Browns are already trading people in the middle of the season. Carlos Hyde is gone now, so Nick Chubb's going to be the starting running back now, who was getting a lot of time. So, the thing I don't get is, Hyde, was almost 1,000-yard rusher the last 2 seasons. He's not a bad rusher. So.
I don't think they're really trading him for so much of... I think the Jaguars just need a running back there, right? The Jaguars are in desperate need for a running back.
So do the Browns,
And I think the Browns we got Chubb, who, was a Heisman candidate a few years ago, So they're well...
I know, because Fournette can't stay healthy at all, so...
And then their backup got hurt, so I like the move there.
I don't say I didn't like it. I just, it's just kind of shocking on a... It's even more shocking that it's done on a Friday, so that probably means Hyde's not playing this weekend.
Yeah, you would... he's a running back. All he's got to do is run the ball, right? It's like when Khalil Mack...
No, you got to block and stuff, too.
Yeah, you can probably take him out of the blocking schemes.
But, because TJ Yeldon's got that ankle injury, too. So, Fournette's out. Ankle injury for the TJ Yeldon on there. So, and then, Corey Grant. I forgot Corey Grant went down in preseason for the season. So, they do have Jamal Charles, though. How about that? So, second coming of Jamal Charles. So, this is where the Browns are going to regret leaving Chubb at the luggage carousel while they fawned all over Baker Mayfield.
That was hilarious.
At the airport, so... so...
Well, welcome back to the team, Nick Chubb. Welcome back to the team.
Yeah. So, this game is complete. That's why when you said this thing, I'm wondering how much that line has moved in the last 30 minutes, if at all, because that's a big thing.
Yeah. Nick Chubb, he's a good guy. Just got added to the Make Football Violent Again starting lineup.
But the Buck... God, you know what? I'm going to go Browns, even though I hate picking the Browns.
Yes, he did it!
Because I want the Buccaneers to lose, because I want their kind of fired.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Last time I picked the Browns,
Brownies.
they lost.
Here we go.
And I said I wouldn't pick them again, and here I am picking them.
Brownies. The dog pound, baby. I'm on the Browns. They're going to beat the Buccaneers easy hand. That came out weird. Texans at Jaguars, the aforementioned Jaguars, 4.5-point favorites, now with their new running back, Carlos Hyde.
That might not play.
That will probably play.
He has to, I think, because if Yeldon's down with an ankle injury, he might have to be out there to play.
He's suiting up.
Yeah. Jaguars are rebounding this week. Blake Bortles needs to start playing decent again. Like, you don't have to be a superstar, but quit playing god-awful. Jaguars are going to win this game because Houston is just awful.
The Jaguars, the problem isn't all Blake Bortles. That defense has not been that well. Defense. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys made Jalen Ramsey shut the fuck up after the game last week. He was at a loss for words. It was a beautiful thing, but I don't think the armpit team down in Houston gets it done. I like the Jaguars in this one as well.
The armpit team.
Well, Houston, it's the armpit of Texas.
Yeah,
That's what we call it.
I call Bill O'Brien needs to find a new job, so that's what I'm rooting for.
Saints at Ravens. Drew Brees back in action this week. They're 4-1, taking on the 4-2 Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore 2.5-point favorites. Weather's gonna be 54 degrees and beautiful.
That's outdoors, natural grass. It's going to slow the Saints down. Ravens are winning this game.
Saints are going to win this game. Give the ball to Kamara. He will do things for you. Drew Brees is going to have a big weekend as well. Rams at Niners. Ooh.
Do we even have to talk about this? Rams in a landslide?
Yeah, Rams on a landslide. Other afternoon game, Cowboys at Redskins in Washington there. The big rivalry game on CBS. The first time this game's been on CBS since, 1970-something,
yeah,
they
said? Yeah, that's what they said, yeah.
Because
remember, I was like, why is there NFC on CBS this year?
With the TBS, or not TBS, with the Thursday Night Package deal and all that stuff. So they'll be at Landover, Maryland. Washington 1-point favorites at home, and they are in first place right now, so this is a big division game here.
Washington's winning this game.
The luster of this game has gone away so much. And I mean, back in the day, it used to be the big rivalry week. They used to call it Dallas week. Whenever Dallas would come to Washington, they called it Dallas week.
Yeah.
But now they call it just Burgundy week because they always get ran over with so many Cowboy fans in Washington. Cowboy fans show up in Washington. I don't get it, but there's a lot of Cowboy fans in Washington. Alex Smith can't throw a ball to a wideout to save his life. And it's like looking at the mirror. When you look at these teams, and the Cowboys look at the Redskins, they're looking right back at themselves. The Redskins, I feel like they do the same. I like the Cowboys in this game after that big weekend, obviously, against the Jaguars. Maybe they can turn the ship around. It looked pretty good last week. But I know all season long it's been one of those things holy shit, where'd this team come from? To, oh, there's that fucking team again. But I think Cowboys get it done, win 2 in a row, get their first road win on the season, and take over what is rightfully theirs, and that is the division lead in the NFC East.
Yeah, Redskins are winning this game. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be a 14-point game most of the game. The Cowboys coming back down to reality, and Jerry Jones can dismiss his head coach more often.
Bengals at Chiefs Sunday Night Football. Ooh, this is a big one right here.
It's going to be a huge game.
Andy Dalton. I mean, gosh, the Chiefs' defense last week did not look good against the Patriots. You got their first loss.
But it's the Patriots.
Yeah, it is the Patriots and Thomas F. and Brady. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, you think that connection links up here and to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead?
So here's the thing with the Chiefs is offense puts up points, right? Defense gives up a lot of points. So it literally comes down to, are the Chiefs going to outscore their opponent is how you're going to have to judge Chiefs games for the rest of the year, because their defense is going to give up points. So they have to outscore them. And in this situation, I'm going Chiefs.
I want to see how Patrick Mahomes is after a loss. Guy's never lost before in the NFL.
Well, he has now.
He has now, yeah. Until last week, he's never lost. So it's going to be interesting to see how Patrick Mahomes comes off a loss. I think the Bengals, I know this is only, week 7 NFL football? They're 4-2, but I think they're going to be playing with a little bit of desperation this week.
Why?
I just don't know, because the Bengals, they're always that team. This is around where it starts to kind of, the wheels start falling off for them. I think they, know that. I mean, you know what Marvin Lewis is each and every year. Yeah. You get the same thing with this Bengals team. I think the Bengals are going to pull it out.
This is my point, though. You get the same thing from the Bengals every year, and now you're trying to talk yourself into thinking the Bengals are going to be something different. They're going to be the same thing, Jason. Chiefs are winning this.
I like the Bengals on the road. Get it done. Monday Night Football, Giants and Falcons. Gosh, the Falcons just did not get... Whew, 2-4. Our 4-point favorites at home. But, oh, man, the Falcons.
Their defense is decimated. I've said it the last 3 podcasts, and like every week it gets worse and worse. I mean, it's just like the Falcons.
We should probably stop saying that.
Well, it's getting worse. Like it's either players are getting injured on purpose so they don't have to go back out there, or they have a serious injury problem.
Nah, coach, my knee. I stubbed my toe today.
It's like their IR is longer than their active roster at this point, I think. So, but even saying that, God, can the Giants, here's the dilemma on this game, can the Giants and Eli actually put together a good passing game with a decimated Atlanta defense? Or are the Giants just that bad? I'm going to go Giants. I think the Giants come back because OBJ's been talking a lot. Saquon Barkley is going to run it right down Atlanta's throat. OBJ's been talking a lot, and he needs to get open for Eli to hit him. Like, people talk a lot about it. Eli can't throw anymore, but he's got nobody to throw to out there. So I think the Giants are going to wake up this week and do some stuff. They need to prove some people some things, and that secondary on the Falcons is brutal.
I like some aspects of the Giants' offense, obviously. Saquon Barkley has thighs. Odell Beckham, he has hair. Eli Manning, he says hut and gets the ball every play. The Falcons...
He needs to start saying Omaha more.
Yeah, the Falcons, I love Matty Ice. I don't think he is... I mean, I know he won the MVP, but I don't really think he was even super great. I mean, look at what he did last year coming off of it. I mean, you still have Julio Jones out there. You also got Mohamed Sanu. Calvin Ridley's hurt, right? But Sanu went out, too, last week.
Sanu is questionable, but Ridley is out.
Okay, so... This game, I am going to have to rely on the Copenhagen gods. I'm going to do a Copenhagen flip. So we'll go with the Copenhagen.
This is excellent for radio, Jason.
Excellent. So this the lid is Giants.
Or we can just make something
The cardboard is Falcons. So here we go. Oop, hit the dog. Oh, and it's cardboard, so Falcons will win.
And the dog's like, what the hell, man?
And he just went right back to sleeping. On buys this week is Green Bay Packers, the Oakland Raiders, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Steve, what you got coming up this weekend?
It's a non-football weekend because all of our teams played last night, so I'm sitting around, have a cheerleading thing tomorrow morning with the daughter, and then football after that, I guess. I'm going to watch some football tomorrow night. I'm excited about a couple of these college football matchups. And then Sunday, well, we'll see what I watch. Not going to lie.
Are you going to wake up at 6:30 and watch football?
I'll probably, if I'm up, I'll turn it on, but I'm not going to get up specifically to watch it. You're not
going to be on the couch. You'll, wake up in bed. I remember,
5:30, I'm, downstairs cooking breakfast. Football's on! Eggs! Sausage!
I remember, the first time they did, the whole, wake up with the NFL thing, and I, woke up. I was just football's on, right? So I'm laying in bed still, and it's one of those games. I think it was a game the Lions came back and won, and they kicked that field goal to win it. I forgot they played. I think
when they were in London.
Yeah, I think they were playing the Colts or something like that.
See,
I remember I was sleeping, in and out of the game, wasn't really paying attention.
So, I remember one of those 6:30 a.m. games, it was a novelty. It was oh, man, great. And then by the time, the afternoon games come on, it was I'm footballed out, man. This is ridiculous.
You're trying to watch your game, then you're taking a nap.
I know.
This sucks.
In case you haven't noticed, I always fall asleep in the middle. The Cardinals played the Vikings at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I fall asleep at halftime and sleep through the third quarter. If they play the afternoon games, I fall asleep at halftime. It's like whenever the Cardinals are on, I always take a nap when they're on the road. It's so funny.
So last week... Funny story. Steve is napping on the couch. I'm watching the...
I was unconscious.
I'm watching the Vikings-Cardinals game, which was the morning game. They're in the third quarter.
You gonna tell this story?
They're in the third quarter, and I can tell Steve's starting to doze off or whatever, and I think he passed out about 12 minutes left on the clock in the third.
So the Cardinals have the ball, and they punt it.
So then he wakes up... with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and he thought he was only out for 30 seconds, and he's like, oh, how do we get the ball back so quick? I was like, they punted, the other team scored, they kicked a field goal, then the other team kicked a field goal, and now they have the ball back, Steve.
I woke up, I literally closed my eyes, opened my eyes, and went, oh, how do we get the ball back? And we're driving. And he didn't say anything then, so later on when I'm awake, he's like, so you were asleep for 30 minutes there? And I was like, what?
Yeah. There were 4 scoring drives that happened at the time that you were sleeping there, and you want to know how they got the ball back.
Oh, Lordy. Last weekend was a long weekend, and so I needed that nap, apparently.
It was a long weekend, but it was a good weekend because we got the rain delay, so we were off on Saturday night, which was good.
Which messed it all up even more.
Messed everything up because we decided that going out and drinking was the right solution, which is never the good call. But tomorrow night, late models are going to be in the house along with modifieds and the Desert Sprint Car Series.
Oh, I'm like, we didn't hang out Saturday night. You went out to the bars, and I went to that birthday party.
How was that?
That's for the other podcast.
Oh, there's another podcast.
there's a life podcast coming, folks.
Inside of Steve's head.
Nobody's gonna believe the story I have to tell, Jason.
Nobody,
as you know,
is gonna believe a lot of stuff that we have to say, but it's all factual. It's all 100% true.
We live a interesting life.
We can attest to everything that happens.
Yes.
But Mega Millions getting ready right now to go out and buy that Mega Millions ticket. Actually, Mega Billions. Oh!
Yes, sir. So if you don't hear a podcast next week, you'll know why. We're billionaires.
And you can follow us on Instagram, because that's where we are going to be, taking pictures with our new friends, who are going to be 22, young, dumb, and full of... Anyways, thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure you share with your friends. Check us out, social media, Twitter. We might have it next week. We'll see. Go out and buy yourself a Mega Millions.
Yes, get there. Even the Powerball's high right now from what I saw.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think like preachers are like buying like, they always preach against like lottery and gambling? Do you think there are preachers out there buying a Mega Millions ticket?
I knew somebody that was really against that stuff, like gambling and whatever. So the way around that is you go into a pool of it, So you give $5 to somebody, and then a group of 400 people or 40 people go and buy it. So they're not actually buying it, But that's how you get around that, So you don't feel like you're wasting money on it or whatever. So.
I kind of want to call it my because I was Baptist, they're always like, oh yeah, all the debauchery and the sinning. I'm sure that's gonna be on the service come Sunday, from the preacher man.
I think
$1 million people out there just throwing their money out.
But isn't the Mega Millions that's different than debauchery of casinos?
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
But they still are against it.
Because even here in Arizona, you don't even have to talk to anybody. You walk up to one of those freaking machines. It's literally used by cigarettes. What are they called? Vending machines. Yeah. And you literally put your money in and click buttons and it comes out.
You know what they need to do for what? Well, you make it sound like it's like buying condoms. You don't have to talk. You don't talk to anybody. That's the worst thing about buying rubbers is having to, because they usually have them packed up in that glass container.
So you
have to tell the guy hey man, I need some rubbers.
And that guy's looking at you right in your dreams.
Yeah.
I like your enthusiasm and your hopefulness there, sir.
I remember one time
So we relegated to this.
So one time I'm leaving a bar. Right, I have this girl. She was like, "Hey, we gotta get condoms." All right. Cool. So we go to this gas station, and she's in the car, hanging out. I just parked at the gas pump. I go inside, and they're back behind, the thing. I'm like, what the hell, really?
Don't you just go in the bathroom and put a quarter in the thing?
I don't think they have any quarter condom machines anymore.
Oh my god, so they do. On a side note, because we don't need to hear about your embarrassing.
Well, no, when I bought it, the guy looks over, he sees the chick that's in my car. He's like, nice. He gave me a knuckle, so I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you gotta go with you. When you don't have anybody with you, then it's right, buddy, right.
But no, you go to Fry's, you have to buy other shit. You're getting oh fuck, I just want to buy condoms at Fry's. So you're you're purchasing M&Ms,
Tic Tacs,
M&Ms, Tic Tacs, rubbers. Yeah, just throw it in there.
Sounds like a personal problem. So interestingly enough, I knew a guy that his company owned the rights for Arizona and New Mexico for those bathroom stuff, for condoms and how they have not candy, they have the mint stuff and everything, all that stuff. Yeah. So literally, he has a guy that drives to rest areas and all these places all throughout Arizona and New Mexico and refills them once a week and empties all the money out of them. Yep, that's a real thing. Yeah.
I wonder how much that. he makes.
He actually was the guy that invented, you know how like they have the self-making ice machines on top of the soda machines now?
Yeah.
So you don't have to fill it with a bucket? He's the guy that actually created that. So I mean that's where he gets his stuff from and everything.
Dang, that's crazy.
He claimed. That one I can't verify. However, the
But you can verify
bathroom
that.
stall things I can verify because
Rubbers and cologne.
his truck was weird because he had a lot of that stuff in his truck to haul around and drive around and drop off. and it was funny.
It's like a guy's dream, right? You go to the bar, like, oh, hang on, what fragrance do I want? You have a condom? Psh, plenty, babe.
I asked him one time because I was curious, and I was like, is that a big thing? And he's like, oh man, they'll sell out. Like, so it's not like once a week he drives around to these places. Like, there's some of them he's got to go to 3 or 4 times in a week because they sell out so fast.
I wonder what city is getting the most.
It's all those little small communities, you know.
The most tang.
Yeah, it's not like he's in Phoenix, you know, and doing it. Like it's little like Ajo and like Gila Bend, I'm sure, and like it's all these small towns that probably because you know. Kids aren't gonna, their mom works at their Circle K or whatever,
right.
So, or their sister works at their Circle K, so they can't go in there, so they have to go into the bathroom, I guess. But
remember the first condom you ever had, and you put it in your wallet?
I'm not having this conversation.
No, we're not having this conversation.
Just you and me here. Just you and me here.
Like I got a rubber.
So interesting
that you're never gonna use.
Interesting enough. Interesting enough, last night at the ASU game, my nephew, Zach, and I don't know how old he is, so sorry, Zach. I don't know, 12, 13, 14, whatever. He's like, oh, I'll give your podcast a listen. So, welcome to the podcast, Zach. So, also on the drive home, because my niece just had a baby, and my dad was talking about how he had to pay for the circumcision. So, we had a long conversation about that with my niece and nephew, so... And now this, Jason. So I guess my point is, man, y'all talk about weird stuff around me.
You invite it.
Yeah, I must.
You invite weirdness, Steve.
I'm like, I must be that guy that everybody's like, I could talk to this guy about whatever.
Based on this past week, you invite some stuff, Steve.
Seriously. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to that yet, right? Like, yeah, it's apparently the fact that I don't judge people means people feel like they can talk to me about.
Yeah, you should probably start judging.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna start just judging, telling them what's wrong with them. Here's what's wrong with you.
Anyways, thanks for listening to the podcast. Hope you had fun. I know we did. Make sure you share us with your friends on iTunes, Podbean, and Spotify. Also share those Facebook, Twitter pages, all that stuff. We will see you next week.